Well, water pump finally let go. I had a feeling it was making noise. It was kind of rattling a little bit at idle, and then it'd be fine when I was driving, but yeah, we have no coolant, and it's steaming up good. So hopefully I'm not smoking the head gaskets right now. Tried to pull over as fast as I could, but the coolant temp shut up really fast. Austin Moldsma racing the rescue. Dude, I should have filmed this. His trailer skills are insane. We went through a spot that was like, I don't know how we had enough room, but it was crazy. Dude, that was some crazy trailer driving. That was like...
I was like, I don't think I'm gonna fit. You're like, it'll fit.
that was crazy. That was, but we're here. Mold Sport Racing Rescue. Thanks, Austin. You're the man. Well, the front bumper's off the S4, so you know what that means. So gonna swap into a new water pump because the water pump's bad. So you don't have to pull the headlights out when you do service position on these. I always do just to be sure that you don't break these little clips and stuff, because like, you know, these cars get older, everything's plastic and breaks. Plus it gives you just a little room to kind of work around things. So already pulled the upper two bolts. We'll get the T45s out and then pull the whole lock carrier assembly forward to service position. I have some suspension blocks that I use to keep everything pushed forward to help, you know, just give you a little more room, and you don't have to worry about this moving in and out. So I'll show you that in a second. All right, so pro tip, you can use the bolts that hold the front bumper on, which go right here on both sides, to act as a slider if you don't have the lollipops. And then this is what I use, so old suspension blocks from Jetta's past, GLIs and stuff like that. GTIs came with suspension blocks. They actually do on the new cars too, but anyway, so that gives you that space so it stays here and doesn't move around. It allows you to access everything. Already got the covers off on this side. I got to pull the fan off, the fan bracket and pulley assembly, the serpentine belt tensioner, get everything kind of in time, put the cam lock bar in and then the crank lock pin so that everything doesn't move. And then I'll show you a little tip on how to swap over timing from the two belts. And then another pro tip is you can use a air hammer right here on the kind of big flange nut for the fan to get it easily removed. If you don't have the big wrench for it or the locker, there's like little kind of 2-finger lock pins with a handle that you can lock everything together, keep it from spinning. But if you're just gonna give it a few taps, this is a reverse thread, so just be aware of that. If you are trying to hammer on normally, you're gonna just keep tightening it. So you know, righty-loosey on this one, and it'll get out of there. All right, quick love tap with the air hammer, and she's loose. So you just kind of spin it. I usually put something here to block the radiator, because if these fins hit the radiator, it will cause a leak. So just be aware of that. So when I do timing belts, especially on the 2.7s, I'll mark them in 2 spots. So belt to cam, and then I come down here on the crank, and I mark the crank in 2 spots. You can see my old mark there. I went over this way just to make a new one. So, and then we'll count the teeth from the old belt to the new one, kind of lay them over each other, and mark the new belt the exact same way. So that way it can all go on, and you'll know that it's all in time, because the crank's locked and the cams will be locked. So nothing's going to move, and everything should line up. You always want the slack on the tensioner side, so that when you pull the grenade pin, it will put all the tension here, and you have everything lined up here. So this is the infamous tensioner that I used in the video where the the news was reporting on a story that someone thought this was an explosive device. So if you haven't seen the video, go check it out on my Instagram. It's also on my TikTok too, but I'll actually link it in the description, because it's a great video and it's done really well. I mean, a couple million views, so that's pretty awesome. But I knew I saved this one for a special occasion, and I'm gonna use it on this job here. So quick pro tip, when you pull the dipstick tube, put a plug in it, because when you pull the water pump, it'll drain coolant right into the oil pan. So you definitely don't want coolant in your oil. Just add a little plug there. Make sure to kind of blow it off before you pull it out. That way you don't get any coolant down there. You do have to loosen the bracket assembly for the power steering pump. So the 6mm Allen back there, that one right there, and then also that one there. And then you can lift it up and get to the bolt that's hidden underneath here for the water pump. So, got everything apart. Biggest thing you want to do when you're doing these water pumps is make sure you prep the surface really well. Get all the gasket material off, because if there's any gasket material left, it'll leak. And you really don't want to pull this whole thing apart just to fix a leak. So, we got everything scraped off. It's a Brillo pad. I got to do a little more right there, and then it'll be good. So, here's our culprit. Yeah, it's trashed. I mean, it dropped bearings out. Some ball bearings came out when I when I pulled it apart. So this was actually an OEM water pump, which I'm kind of surprised that it failed. But I'm gonna install a Graph water pump, and we'll see how that one lasts. I don't anticipate keeping it on there too long because I got some plans for the motor, but for now, we'll get the new water pump installed and get it all back together. So this is gonna be hard to do one-handed, but basically I'm gonna lay the old belt over the new one, line it all up, and then we're gonna mark it, and then count the teeth all the way around, mark it again, go all the way around, mark it again, and then make sure everything lines up. That way we can just put it right on and not have to worry about any timing issues. So I'll show you in a second. Okay, so we went around, marked the belt and all the spots. Just went around one more time and double checked, so everything's lined up perfect. And it's gonna go right on to the gears. Now I did say teeth, these are actually cogs, technical term, but you can see a tooth on the belt type thing, but anyway.
Police say they got information right about 10 o'clock this morning about a possible explosive.
Well, you guys blew that video up. It got 2.1, 2.2 million views now, which is insane, all because of this timing belt tensioner. I'm actually going to use it on my S4 to replace the one that I just removed. I'm doing the water pump on it, so you guys will actually get to see me pull the grenade pin in a minute. Well, it's installed. You guys ready to see this action? Here we go. Yeah. All right, hope you guys like that little TikTok video / reel of me pulling the pin. But yeah, everything's timed up, so I did it kind of quick. I wasn't able to film it, but you want to get the cam moved up about I'd say maybe another like 20 to 30 degrees, enough to get the teeth kind of high on the belt, and then you rotate it around and make sure that these marks are lined up and the tension is here. Slack's gonna go here, and then you'll be able to push the belt over the gear here, make sure these marks are lined up, and then all your slack is gonna be here. And when you pull the grenade pin, it'll tighten it and everything will be good. So just kind of a quick way to do it without popping the cam gears off, and it works every time. Just did the rotations, everything lines up, our mark is perfect, and cam lock bar slid right in. This thing should slide in and out like super easy. If it's kind of a pain, it might be off a little bit, but if it slides right on, usually if you don't pull the cam gears and all the marks are lined up and everything, then it goes right in. Obviously our marks aren't lined up because they're rotated around, but all is good. Now she's back together. So everything bled out nice with the cooling system. Ended up having to replace the O-ring back here for the aux pump activation switch. I started sucking it down, and I've been hearing hiss, and I'm like, oh crap, I thought it was a water pump, but water pump's all sealed up, everything's good there. So let's fire it up and see how she warms up. All right, here we go. Let's see if the battery's dead. It's a little low. All right. far is doing its thing. Check engine lights on because I need to calibrate some stuff for the flex fuel sensor with the link. There's an error when it first fires, so I just have to calibrate that. Alright, she's sounding good. Firing away. I gotta go power wash it. Coolant freaking everywhere. Add a little more coolant. It's almost at the max. Alright, so we got 58 C coolant temp, which is good. Starting to come up to temp. Keep an eye on it, let it warm up. Well, she's running really good. Coolant temp's holding steady, so it looks like head gaskets are safe. Done a few pulls already, and she's feeling really good. Gets into boost nice. Still got to work on some fueling. Figured out an issue where the ECU wasn't reading the fuel temp correctly, so it was calculating fueling all wonky. So I figured that out, and everything's good now, so all good. Water pump replacement successful.